Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today in the presentation titled Hoisting in Hydro Dams Safely. Replacing existing gate hoists that are beyond their design life is becoming more and more challenging each year. In 2017, the American Society of Civil Engineers gave the nation's 91,000 plus dams a D grade, inferring that replacement or refurbishment is of critical importance. They estimated that the cost to rehabilitate this aging infrastructure, whose failure would threaten human life, at nearly $45 billion. Since 2017, 45% of all global major dam failures have occurred in the United States, raising alarm bells throughout the industry. A natural progression to aging dams, combined with recent failures, is infrastructure investment. This afternoon, we will focus on just one portion of dam rehabilitation, which is gate hoists, and how partnering with a manufacturer with experience, knowledge, and the ability to control the manufacturing process will provide you with modern gate hoists that exceed current levels of safety, reliability, and load monitoring. My name is Dan Dietrich, and I'm joined by my colleague Aaron Van Manen. With a combined 18 plus years in product safety, performance, and engineering, our focus is on delivering gate hoists designed to exceed safety requirements, backed by more than 70 years of winch manufacturing by Timberland Equipment Limited. Thank you for taking your time out of your day to join us on Hoisting in Hydro Dams Safely. Let's jump right in. Quick outline of what we're going to discuss today. Please keep in mind that due to the time requirements, this presentation is going to be very high level from a bird's eye point of view. We do welcome your questions, and we will do our best to answer them at the end of this presentation. If time doesn't permit, we will follow up with each and every one of you directly in the coming days to get you those answers. We will start by defining the two major types of gate hoists used in the hydropower industry. That will be followed up with what makes gate hoists reliable and what to look for when choosing your manufacturer. Next, we will get into hoist safety and what to look for in design principles, why load and distance monitoring are important, followed by maintenance and project execution. At the end, we'll do our best to give you examples of a few of the projects that we've been involved in. For those of you who may not be as familiar as others specific to the different types of gate hoists, let's define the two main types. The first being spillway gate hoists. These are probably the most common type and are used to regulate both the up and downstream water levels and flow. A reliable gate hoist can mean the difference between the ability to manage water levels when needed versus a catastrophic dam failure causing loss of life. These applications are considered to be one of the most crucial safety measures of the dam. The second type of gate hoist that we'll talk about is called an intake gate hoist. These hoists are focused on controlling the water flow into the hydro dam turbines to ensure consistent flow when needed. The gates can also be closed off for maintenance of the turbine as required. Reliability. And what is reliability in hoisting and why is it important? Most of us think that the gates and dams are constantly opening and closing, always moving up and down. The reality is that in many cases, they may only move a few feet once or twice a year as needed. The importance, however, is that each and every time the performance of the hoist is consistent. Generally speaking, each gate hoist is custom manufactured, which is where its reliability is born. The manufacturer must truly understand the specific lifting requirements of each gate. The design process should not and cannot be rushed. It's important that proper time is allotted at the beginning of the project to ensure all design aspects are accounted for. Technical specs often exceed 100 plus pages, and the engineers working on the design need to fully understand them to ensure what is being manufactured matches what is in the spec. Items like quality components, recognized welding practices such as CWB or AWS should be followed at all times, and a quality system in place such as ISO, which acts as a second set of eyes throughout the process. Safety. Luckily, here in North America, we have numerous authorities that provide checks and balances to ensure every design and component is built safely. If you're involved in writing the specs or simply just reviewing proposals from vendors, there are a few items that you always want to ensure are incorporated. Taking into account good engineering practices like failure modes and effects, otherwise known as FMEA, industry codes like ASME, ANSI, CMMA 70 are followed to ensure major components are certified and or approved for use by a nationally recognized testing laboratory are all simple steps that can be taken to ensure the safety of your hoist. Proper factors of safety in rope selection, as well as redundancy in key safety features, can be the difference between a dam failure and simply a maintenance issue. With that, I am going to turn the presentation over to my colleague, Aaron Van Manen. Aaron?
Thanks, Dan. Another kind of point that we wanted to kind of bring up, another critical component really in hoisting in general, but also specific to gate hoists, is precise load and distance monitoring. Having live calibrated knowledge of the load that is being lifted, lowered, or held by the hoist is absolutely critical to know what stresses are being induced into the machine, the gate, and just the overall structure of the dam itself. A significant change in the normal load can indicate a need for maintenance, or at least, an analysis of potential problem. With really a lot of types of load monitoring out there, we really recommend it to be robust, simple, redundancy if possible, having redundant load cells or load pins. We found that load pins at the end of the rope is truly the best way to kind of go about this. You can also put load cells into the block, or hoist frame can be used and calibrated to display a live load at all times on either local or remote control centers. Noting that we completely understand that a lot of these hoists are really controlled by, from control centers miles and miles away. So you need to be able to access this information quickly and accurately. Distance is just another one of those key kind of items you need to kind of focus on, is just, where are you in the path of the load? It can be controlled and displayed, via encoders, display it on HMIs, on the hoist, and or, mechanically via a physical dial if that's that works for the system and how you're operating. This can allow for precise positioning and opening for the gate to a set height for either maintenance or specific water displacement levels and heights for the gate. With regards to maintenance, really beyond designing a hoist for the required speeds, loads, physical restrictions possibly, a hoist really needs to be designed also for maintenance, something that's often overlooked. But a hoist designed for maintenance really ensures that the hoist can last the design lifetime of the hoist dam, which can often be up to 50 years or more. So some examples that we've just kind of found helpful to add to maintenance with our service teams and our service techs is just ensuring that the hoist has standard grease points and, possible, put it all in one location. Also having bearings and split pillow blocks, so shafts and bearings can be accessed and assessed. Same with gearboxes, if you can split the gearbox or have a access hatch at least to visually inspect the gears if needed. You got to remember that these gears can be in service for a very long time and often need to be inspected at least at an annual basis. Another item that Timberland often recommends in a hoisting application like this, especially with the potential to be holding a load for a long period of time, is some form of mechanical locking device. We often recommend it being on the drum or very, close to the load itself. This way, actually, you can hold the load via the rope in the drum and have it mechanically locked off and have access to the motor and the brakes and potentially even the gearboxes to inspect them while you're either holding the load or just maintaining the load in one position. The load obviously being the gate. Another point we wanted to kind of touch on, although not specific to hoists in general, obviously, is project execution. Project execution and management, it really doesn't apply just to the hoist. It really obviously applies to the entirety of the dam, whether it's new or whether it is a refurbishment. To really ensure kind of a successful project, you need to execute a plan throughout the process, even with regards to contracts and suppliers of critical items such as hoist. Working with a hoist manufacturer earlier on in the process can allow for advantageous timing with regards to the supply. You can possibly time it, in the right way, but give yourself enough time in advance to have that chance to have that supply and the design and the records all at the right time. Another key component to, project execution is really ensuring your hoist manufacturer has their own capabilities of project management and ISO or some form of checks and balances that they have to make sure that they're keeping track of their engineering, manufacturing, and quality. All this really increases the ability to design and build a safe hoist in a timely manner. With that said, we kind of wanted to just touch on a couple brief projects that we're working on or have worked on in the past, just to show examples, really just showing Timberland's diversity and just working with a various amount of clients and customers that really perform a lot of great heavy lifting and exciting projects that we love to work on. We've been doing this since 1947, continuously in operation, and we really enjoy problem solving on different hoisting needs. So can speak to even this one actually particularly, Site C that we've worked with a customer, ATB, Riva Calzoni. They were to supply the hydromechanical equipment for the Site C project. It's ongoing. Our hoists are actually, almost complete in our facilities. It really, kind of speaks to a lot of collaboration between ourselves, the client, the client's engineer, and how it really is a full team effort to supply such a critical item to the dam and the operation of the dam. These were, we provided redundancy in ropes kind of per the client's request, but also, a really good point of just talking to, Dan's earlier points on redundancy and factors of safety of rope, lifting and lowering speeds and having multiple brakes and multiple motors, and really a wonderful design that it was great to work through. Another project we worked on with BC Fortis, actually through S&C Lavalin, another great engineering firm that we deal with, supplying 2 intake gate hoists. Cougar Dam, actually, we worked with a while back in 2006 to supply 12 hoists for water outlets to let water out at different levels from the dam to control actually the temperature downstream. You can see in the room, in the hoist room there, it's a fairly tight space. So we had to really think of and be given time to think of a design that's compact, yet meets all the requirements of safety and the load and even maintenance. So here, we work with a lot of different ropes and factors of safety, obviously, with, whether it's stainless steel rope or whether it's all kinds of things that we're really kind of working on together, to kind of just make the systems work as, per the environment and as needed. So.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that, Aaron. We got about, I'm guessing, a minute and a half, 2 minutes left. And I do see quite a few questions that have come in here. So we do apologize if we're not able to answer them all live right now. As committed, we will get back to each and every one of you on a one-on-one basis to answer your questions. Just pulling out a couple of questions here. Alex, I'm not sure if I should reference your company name, so I'll leave that out. Question, while listening to this presentation, I went on your website and noticed you were located in Ontario, Canada. How does this affect your ability to meet the Buy America requirements? Great question. Yes, so we are coming to you from Ontario, Canada, but Timberland Equipment has manufacturing locations throughout North America. So we do have a facility in the US, full manufacturing facility, which gives us the ability to meet any and all of the Buy America requirements. So that's not a concern whatsoever. Another question here, Jeff, once again, I'm not going to mention your company name. Aaron, maybe I'll turn this one over to you, but the question is, we are a general contractor and sometimes work within different industries. As such, we have different needs that go beyond gate hoists. What other industries are you actively involved in? Aaron, do you want to take that?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we kind of actually pride ourselves in is kind of just a diversity in all the industries that we deal with, and how we can kind of pull from those other industries to apply solutions to maybe the same old problem or a new problem. So we actually work, in the offshore oil industries. We work in the mining industries, whether, personnel hoists. I think we've probably, a company that manufactures more personnel hoists than anyone out there as far as, with regards to mines. And people are really, ride these things every day in a cage, and it really speaks to the testament of just our safety and our quality that, that we put into this, because we realize, the importance of the hoists and that lives are on the line. It really does matter. So we really work in a lot of different industries. We also work in a tension stringing industry for hydro lines. So we have a lot of experience, over 70 years, and we draw upon all that for the hoists that we need to do in particularly hydro dams here and other industries as well. So if you have more to say or more to ask on a particular industry, we're absolutely happy to speak to that, and we'll get back to you later. Yeah.
With that, thank you, Aaron. We are approaching, we have about 6 seconds to go in our presentation. So we do want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time out of your day. And as mentioned, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out and speak to us directly. Thank you very much, and have yourselves a great day.